Welcome to the world of biotechnology that has created revolution in various sectors. For now, let's focus on its application in one of the most important sectors, that is agriculture. How biotechnology is applied in the field of agriculture for enhanced nutrition and food security is our concern. Before we proceed further, let's talk about agriculture first. As we see here, agriculture is involved in almost every sector that provide us livelihood, whether that's food industry, production of fiber, providing feed, or one of the most important sectors in the current situation, that is biofuel production. So, why we are talking about agriculture? Let's have a look on the importance of agricultural sectors, especially in a country like India. In India, agriculture acts as the lifeline for its economy. It represents the largest sector that provides us jobs, help in enhancing living standards, especially in rural and marginal areas. Keeping in mind all these points, we can say a strong and effective agricultural system is pivotal for the overall economic growth and development of India. Let's think from an Indian perspective why agriculture is relevant for us. India is a land where majority of the people live on agricultural productivity. It has a landmass of around 169.6 million hectares that is solely dedicated to farming and cultivation. This is also recorded to be the largest in the world. Out of the total extracted water, India uses a maximum fraction for the purpose of irrigation in agriculture. Despite all this, nearly about 60% of agricultural land in India is at risk due to fertilizer misuse, poor cropping practices, and soil nutrient deficiencies. Agriculture in India is quite relevant as more than half of the population is engaged in agricultural production. Despite this, the average farm size today in India is half of what it was 40 years ago. The size of the agricultural workforce has also reduced by 30.57 million people in the last 10 years. Why there is a decrease in land size and reduction in workforce in agriculture? What are the problems that greatly hamper agricultural productivity? Talking about it, the first and the most obvious one that comes to our mind is the world's growing population that is continuously affecting the productivity with course of time. Here we can see from 1960 to 2030, there is an increase in the number of persons per constant land size. Here a question arises. Can Mother Earth feed 9+ billion people by 2050? For that, we need to have a look on the present day scenario of the world. Here we can see only 30% land surface is there on Earth, out of which only 10% land is used for food, feed, and fiber production. When back in 2010 the arable land was distributed per person, it came out to be around 0.2 hectares, that is comparatively lesser than the required minimum area of 0.5 hectares per person. Here comes another question. Can we produce sufficient food from 0.2 hectares? As the land size is comparatively lesser than before and the population is still growing with growing demands for sustainability, which must be fulfilled. Keeping in mind these facts, food security seems to be a formidable challenge now. In order to resolve this, the citizens of the world must work together for a hunger-free and more peaceful world using the biotechnology in crop production. In the current world, malnutrition stands out as a global problem. There is an estimation of around 1.9 billion adults, those are overweight, and around 2 billion people suffer from micronutrient deficiency. This estimation also gives a number that is nerve-wracking to know that approximately 795 million people do not get sufficient food to live a healthier life and suffer from malnutrition. Another major factor that greatly affects productivity is the climate change. In a research, it was mentioned that by 2030, 9 out of 10 major crops will experience reduced or stagnant growth rate, while average prices will increase dramatically with the growing population and changing climate. In the meantime, while we are trying to fulfill the growing demands of the population, there is an unfortunate loss happening where around 1.3 billion tons of food is estimated to be lost or wasted. Coming to India's production constraints, we all know India constitutes around 17% of the world population that thrives on a land fraction of 2.4% only. Along with the growing population and decreasing land mass, there are few other factors like soil fatigue, groundwater depletion, climate change that greatly affect productivity. At the same time, the economic growth of a country also demands for higher productivity that indirectly constrains the productivity rate. In India, only 15% of the GDP is supporting 48% of the population. The most efficient solution to all these problems that we face is the introduction of biotechnology into the field of crop production. So now let's see what revolution biotechnology has brought into the field of agriculture. Let's have a look on what happened when crop biotechnology came to India. India has made remarkable progress in agricultural sector that has enabled food security of 1.3 billion people and led to export of agricultural commodities worth of rupees 2.35 lakh crores during the last year. So, what exactly crop biotechnology do? It produces genetically modified crops with enhanced features. Now let's see how a GM crop is produced. This video is the demonstration of the mechanism of agrobacterium-mediated transformation in plants for herbicide resistance. Here, the gene of interest is inserted into the tDNA region of the Ti plasmid, and as agrobacterium mechanism is a binary system, the Ti plasmid must be inserted into agrobacterium by sonication, heat shock, or some other methods. Next, our X plant must be inoculated with agrobacterium. In this case, agrobacterium culture is taken and the leaf sections are co-cultivated with the culture for the attachment of agrobacterium to the cell wall. Here, it transfers the tDNA portion of Ti plasmid to the host. This tDNA with the herbicide-resistant and antibiotic-resistant gene is randomly inserted into the genome, where our gene of interest gets incorporated at the target site, modifying the genome sequence. Further, the X plant is cultured under sterile conditions in agar plates to produce callus, an undifferentiated mass of cells. The transformed callus can be subsequently cultured on agar plates with appropriate prion hormones and antibiotics to select only those that have been transformed. The result is the whole transgenic plant with our trait of interest, which is the herbicide resistance gene here. Now let's understand how callus generates a whole new plant.
Totipotency is an important concept in plant micropropagation. It means that a cell from any portion of a plant, given the right nutrients, growth regulators, and environment, can be encouraged to grow new cells via mitosis. In fact, the types of growth regulators provided to the cell can determine what types of growths occur. Each plate here has one of three types of media that, depending on its combination of auxins and cytokinins, will produce different effects. Plates with only auxins in the medium encourage root growth, and those with only cytokinins, shoots form. Plates with both result in the growth of callus, an undifferentiated plant cell. These new cells can be used to create new plants, and cuttings from those plants could create yet more. Through exponential proliferation, one cutting could create millions of identical copies of the original plant.
Here, it is a representation of the method of getting a transgenic plant out of an X plant under controlled environment in research labs. Let's talk about the successful examples of GM crops with advanced features. The very first example of a genetically modified crop is the insect-resistant variety of rice. Golden rice is another example of genetic modification targeting the nutritional aspect of the crop. The GM rice has higher content of beta-carotene as comparison to its control variety. The genetically modified corn variety is also produced as a result of genetic modification for insect resistance. A variety of papaya is also there with enhanced insect resistance than its wilder variety. The transgenic soybean is the output of the genetic modification for herbicide resistance. The vitamin A enriched banana variety is produced by targeting the nutritional trait of the crop species. Transgenic tomato is a product of genetic modification for delayed ripening. This genetic modification helps in the long-term storage of food crops. While talking about the successful GM crops, the first name that comes to our mind is the BT cotton. The insect-resistant BT cotton varieties are adopted by nearly 90% of the farmers, covering a land of around 11.4 million hectares. It has resulted in increased cotton production by 9.25% and an average net return has increased by 37%. It has also reduced the use of pesticides by 82%. Another common name in the field of GM crops is the BT brinjal. BT brinjal is developed in India and under moratorium it has been adopted by Bangladesh. As per reports, more than 27,000 farmers are cultivating BT brinjal in Bangladesh. Let's talk about transgenics in Indian agriculture. 3 varieties have been produced in India by genetic engineering like cotton, eggplant and mustard. While BT cotton is already been adopted by Indian people, BT brinjal and GM mustard are still under consideration. Now it's up to you what you choose. The conventional ones that may hamper your health or the modified ones produced especially to provide you a healthier diet. The application of biotechnology has made it possible for us to come a long way in providing enough food for the growing population under the changing climate and changing demands. The BT cotton technology is attracting younger farmers in India due to its higher yield, scale-neutral technology, lesser use of insecticides and pesticides with an increased profit. After having much discussion on biotech crops, we could guess its vital contribution towards the society. These crops have increased the productivity, help us in conserving biodiversity, provide us a better environment to live in, also reduces carbon dioxide emissions and help alleviating poverty and hunger. Let's check on our success in crop biotechnology. There are 17 biofortified crop varieties that are dedicated to our nation by the Honorable Prime Minister on World Food Day. This list includes 1 variety of rice, 5 wheat varieties, 2 finger millet varieties, 1 variety of little millet, 2 groundnut varieties, 3 maize varieties, and 1 variety each from mustard and yam. Thank you for joining us in this journey of exploring the contribution of biotech in the field of agriculture.